This video will be a pre-release guide to Miraidon, who will be coming out tomorrow already on the live server on Pokemon Day. So as always, I want to go over the abilities, explain the Pokemon as best as I can. So you guys are ready for, playing either as Miraidon or against Miraidon. Very important to know what this Pokemon does if you're going to face it in ranked as well. Because the EX Pokemon, it is an EX Pokemon, but it will be available in ranked next season already again, which again is tomorrow. So you gotta be ready for Miraidon. It's a special attacker. It has low range, but it also has kind of a speedster build, so it can either be very long range, but it can also go in quite aggressively. It felt very strong. I think it might be the best Pokemon on the new patch instantly, potentially on the test server at least. It felt super, super strong. It does have some counterplay. It's quite squishy, so you have to be careful. You can go down quite fast, but doesn't matter what, it deals out a lot of damage. The item build shouldn't be a big surprise. Double Glasses Spoon, probably the most reasonable one. I didn't really try special specs yet, but it's not a Pokemon you really want to stack on, I would say. It's quite difficult to, go forward. I don't think it was required at all either. So just for a very standard, double Glasses Spoon. And emblems, 7 black, 6 green should be the way to go as well. We first have to talk about its passive. Also, this doesn't have boost auto attack, this Pokemon. It just basic attacks every single time. You see that charged up bar right under the HP bar that is currently glowing. And if you hit an opposing Pokemon, you spawn this electric terrain, which gives you increased damage and also makes you immune to falling asleep. So, Wigglytuff Sing is completely countered by this, for example, Yawn, and so on. And of course, it's going to slowly build back up. And then it also consumes Aeos energy. So if you have a bit more Aeos energy, it's going to consume this, like here, you can see. Went down to 20, and you can see the area increased by a lot. So you can't stop this. It will always cost Aeos energy, and will make your terrain stronger or just bigger in general area. So then we have Thunder Shock and Thunder Wave as first two moves. Thunder Shock is just a straight up skill shot in a line. Going to be one of your last tools in lane, right? Very straightforward, does damage in a line. And then the other one is Thunder Wave. This one is a point and click thing. So what we can do is we can use both together for last hitting, right? That's how it's gonna be. Try to use both together for last hitting. Looks like you want to do Thunder Wave first, because it's a bit, Thunder Shock is a bit delayed, because if you should do this, then it already takes too long. So if you want to go for last hitting, definitely Thunder Wave and do Thunder Shock. On level 5, we have Charge Beam and Electro Drift. Charge Beam feels like an attacker build, while Electro Drift definitely feels like a speedster, as I mentioned a bit earlier. So first I'm going to showcase Charge Beam. As it says, you're going to charge up and then you beam. Charge Beam. Charge up and beam. And after hitting it, you get increased special attack for a certain amount of duration too. And, the longer you charge up, the further it goes. And at the same time, so how do Electro Drift and Charge Beam work? Both have the same mechanic. After you hit one Charge Beam, you can see you also can store up two. After hitting Charge Beam one single time, if you hit it again, you get an empowered version of Charge Beam or Electro Drift. So, and that's also an independent cooldown. So in the background, your Charge Beam will just go back on cooldown like it usually does, where you can use that empowered version. So I'm going to showcase, you do one Charge Beam, we hit it. You can see there's a circle going out right on the Charge Beam now, so we have to hit it now again before it goes away. And we get the empowered Charge Beam version, which is very strong. So Charge Beam, big Charge Beam. And you can also do quick ones, like you don't have to always charge it up fully. You can also do a quick one and it counts towards it. And then you can just do this and do a lot of damage. And if you don't, right, so you can see the blue circle now. You can see it running around. If the blue circle is gone, and then you hit someone again, you have to do the same thing over and over again. So you got to be careful, because early game it actually has quite a high cooldown. So for example, I'm going to use it once. You can see it actually has quite a low cooldown. So if I miss it now, if I miss my second one, you can see I already can't empower it. And now I have to wait a very long time for the two charges to be back up. So early game, it's not you can't just spam it over and over again. But there's a certain move that is very broken on this Pokemon that does make it a bit easier. That makes it a bit easier. But yeah, that's Charge Beam for now. Quite strong. Let me go towards Electro Drift now to showcase Electro Drift. So level 5, Electro Drift. We dash, we just straight up dash. We do damage, and then we can dash again. And then we get our empowered dash, which is point and click. You can target someone. You can see the range this ability has. Is absolutely. It was so fun to play in test server too. So you can dash around. This is not point and click, but this one you have to target someone. You can walk around and you can hit multiple targets with this ability. And this empowered version also does more damage the lower someone is on HP. So it's a very good execute. to even do increased damage to someone who is very low. On level 7 we have two choices, either it's Thunder or Parabolic Charge. Parabolic Charge is very overpowered, but I still want to talk about Thunder. Thunder is definitely something you go for Charge Beam. You put on a cloud, and the cloud is going to chase an opponent, and you can see it's going to do damage to that person over and over again. Maybe show them someone who's running away as well. Like, it's just going to follow them around. And, okay, the bot doesn't want... Oh, you can see, now it's going to follow around. It's quite fast, so it's a very strong ability, definitely. Lots of guaranteed damage that's just going to follow someone down. And also slows your opponent. If you want to play Thunder, make sure you play with Charge Beam. That makes the most sense, right? It also makes it easier to hit this ability at the same time. But don't play this on the other charge, on the Spin Electro Drift. Definitely something for like a very long range, you know, Miraidon playstyle. So now I have to talk about Parabolic Charge, which makes this Pokemon absolutely busted. So what it does is, first we're going to use it. It gives us healing, it does damage around. But the insane part of Parabolic Charges, it gives us one entire charge back of our main ability. One entire charge. You saw earlier it has quite the high cooldown, right? So I'm going to put off cooldowns now. You can see if I do one Electro Drift, I do a second one. You can see the next one, it's going to take quite a while for this to be back up. And so Parabolic Charge pretty much allows you to have the empowered version of your main move the entire time. So we only have one stack. We do Electro Drift, Parabolic Charge, Electro Drift. And look, we can do instantly this. And now we just have to wait for Parabolic cooldown. So we can do again. Electro Drift, Parabolic, Electro Drift, and Electro Drift. And we can do this every single time when we have one stack. Because Parabolic Charge has a low cooldown, so it will always be up once we're back to one Electro Drift or Charge Beam stack. So even a Charge Beam, it is very overpowered too. For the reason is that you can use it on wild Pokemon. This is something I think they probably should nerf when it comes to the test server or in general to this Pokemon. So we can do this. We can walk to wild Pokemon. We can use it again, and we can go for the empowered version. And now we just have to wait for Parabolic to be back up. So we do this, Parabolic, Charge Beam, and our next empowered Charge Beam is up. Absolutely ridiculous. And now we can do the same thing again. Charge Beam, Parabolic, Charge Beam, and Charge Beam. So even in this build, where like it's a melee ability, right? It's something you have to use close to someone. You can always look for wild Pokemon, build it up, and just Charge Beam all over the enemy team. That's just straight how it is. It feels so OP, and I think that's something, if they didn't consider nerfing Miraidon, this probably should be the first thing. So yeah, in both abilities, Parabolic Charge, I think will probably be the way to go, just for this mechanic, as you don't have to wait, right? So you can also dash around a lot. You can dash, you can dash, you can... Okay, no, I did it wrong actually, 1 second, you know. You can dash, Parabolic, dash, you can dash again, right? And then you can dash again. You wait for Parabolic, you can press it, you dash again, and guess what? You dash again, and then you can dash again. You can press Parabolic, and you can dash again, and then you can dash again. You can see how busted this is, right? This is currently with cooldowns like on. I currently have cooldowns, and you can Parabolic again, this, drift again, and then we can drift again another time. So I don't know what they thought about this. I'm pretty sure it's getting nerfed at some point at least. At least I hope so. Let's talk about its Unite move. Probably one of the best looking abilities in the entire game. We press it, we have to hold it down. It's important to hold it down. And we summon meteors from the sky that fall down, while the latest one, or the last one, has more area of effect and also stuns our opponents. And every time you hit one of your meteors, the next one is also going to do increased damage. So very cool looking ability, kind of controlled like Psyshock Gardevoir maybe. But make sure you hold it down, because if you don't hold it down, you will cancel it, as you can see right here. And if you cancel it, you get some of the thing refunded. So if you only do one meteor, it only goes back to 60%, as an example, right? So it's something you have to keep in mind, like this right here. And if you do it twice, you can see it's going to slowly go down to 0%. So if you use, like, you can see 1, 70%, 40%, 10%, and now it's at 0. So you can cancel it earlier, but probably not the best choice. You can probably use, like, I ran out of Energy Amplifier equipped, so if you do 1, you can see you have to do the entire duration for Energy Amplifier to... I actually don't know. Energy Amplifier just doesn't seem to, like, fully work on this Pokemon. I never see it activating. I saw the icon there for a second, but now it's already gone. I think it might be bugged on this Pokemon, Energy Amplifier. Oh, there it was. Now it activated. Like, something in Energy Amplifier is definitely off on this Pokemon, and I haven't figured out quite what yet. It was actually cancelled instantly and it instantly appears. Let me see again. It's almost back on cooldown. But yeah, very cool. Lots of damage, lots of range. Yeah, energy amplifier, I don't know. I think it has a higher cooldown than it shows as well. So you can't abuse it, like on Dragapult or something, where you can't just do one meteor, activate energy amplifier, do this very fast, right? And for a lot of damage. In general, I think it's a bit too cheesy. I think you still want to probably use your entire meteor if you can. You can see it has so much range. You want to stay very far away in team fights. As you can't use the eject button or anything during it. So you're going to be very vulnerable. You can't use Electro Drift. So once the enemies engage on you, it can be quite scary. Charge Beam on this one, I think it also doesn't quite show us what it does yet on test server. It says it's like supposed to give you one entire more charge of it. As you can see if I hover over it. Increase the maximum number of use that can kept in reserve for this move to 0. So I think something is probably bugged right here. Electro Drift makes the cooldown lower. And then we have Parabolic Charge Plus, which gives us also shield. It's also quite nice. The shield is very, very good, as you can see. Quite huge. And honestly, I forgot what Thunder does, so let's go and check it out very fast. On level 13, you get Thunder Plus again. I don't think you're going to go for Thunder at all. I mean, it's very fun, but since the slowing effect, you just get a stronger slow on top of it. I think in general, you always want to go for Parabolic Charge. And for the first ability, I'm not sure. Charge Beam, Electro Drift are both amazing. If you want to dive into your opponents, Electro Drift is great. If you want to stay far away from the enemy team, Charge Beam is great. Just go Parabolic Charge. It's such a game changer. You will see, you go this ability, and you can just spam the empowered version the entire game. I have some videos on it as well on test server. You want to check it out again. You can see this is with cooldowns on right now. It is ridiculous how much you can spam this. Like I don't think someone thought about this very much. Definitely not. That even in this ability, like the melee one is the better move just because of how broken the mechanic is. You can see, I can spam it every few seconds. I can spam the empowered version. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I hope you're still looking forward to Miraidon. I definitely am, doesn't matter what, even though it looks a bit busted. If it's too busted, it can get banned in ranked at some point, right? But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this Pokemon. And I know it's gonna be very fun. But maybe not fun here to be up against. See you guys in the next video. Bye!